On the evening of January 16, 1998, Alphonse Gangitano, the street boss of the notorious Carlton crew, was gunned down in the laundry of his home in Templestowe. His murder set into motion a very bloody gangland war that would see 36 people dead from 1998 to 2010. Hi, I'm popeyJN. This is Behind the Crime. Today we're going to examine and have a look at the death of Alphonse Gangitano. Alphonse Gangitano was born on April 22, 1957 in Melbourne. His parents had previously immigrated to Australia not long before Alphonse's birth. Whilst not a lot is known about Alphonse's early life, he started to get involved in street crimes and gangs and the criminal world from an early age.
He really wanted to become a godfather.
His infamy grew as he got older, and part of the notorious Carlton crew, Alphonse became known as the Black Prince.
The man who crowned himself the Black Prince of Lygon Street, Alphonse Gangitano.
Most of Alphonse's criminal operation was drug trafficking, extortion, and violence towards business owners in the local area. The way Alphonse's operation would work is that someone would set up shop, he would then say, "You're now under my protection, you have to give me a percentage of your profits." And if that person dared disagree with that or try to not include him in the profits, he would savagely beat them almost to the point of death.
Gangitano moved into the illegal casino trade and stood over businesses in the Carlton area, demanding protection money. If it was not forthcoming, he would unleash his violence on those who could not or would not pay.
The Carlton crew that Alphonse was a figurehead of had some very notorious characters in its midst. It included members such as Mick Gatto, Mario Cordello, Graham Kinniburgh, and was allied with the notorious Moran crime family, which included Jason Moran, Lewis Moran, Judy Moran, and their then driver, Carl Williams. However, a key few events put into motion Alphonse's fall from grace and his falling out with members of the Carlton crew. For instance, let's jump to February 7, 1995. At a house party in St Kilda, Alphonse ran into Gregory Workman, a petty criminal who had ties to the Melbourne underworld, who allegedly owed Alphonse $50,000 in debt.
Now let's start again, shall we? You owe me money.
Alphonse, having seen Workman at the party, got him outside and opened fire, shooting Gregory Workman dead in front of people at this house party. Unfortunately for Gangitano, there were two witnesses who saw the entire event that were willing to come forward and testify to police. Those witnesses were put in the witness relocation program as an effort to try and hide their identities until the trial. However, with Gangitano having immense wealth at this time, allegedly between $150,000 to $200,000 a month from his criminal operation, Alphonse eventually found out where the witnesses were and offered them a one-way trip to Europe with enough money to live a very lavish lifestyle.
I need you both to disappear.
What do you mean?
How would you both like an all-expenses-paid trip to Europe? You and your sister.
What, like a holiday?
I'll be gone for a year, minimum.
Out of reach of the jacks.
Who's footing the bill? You?
It's an investment in my freedom. One catch. You have to be out of the country by tomorrow night.
Or else what?
or else you'll disappear some other way.
The witnesses then retracted their statements, disappeared into Europe, and were never heard from again. This meant that Alphonse essentially got away with murder. But this wouldn't stop him from pushing even more boundaries. On December 19th, 1995, the same year that he had killed Gregory Workman, Alphonse, Jason Moran, and an associate were charged with assault when they entered the Sports Bar nightclub in King Street, Melbourne, and savagely beat all of the patrons that were occupying the bar at the time for no apparent reason. These two events put a lot of attention on the Carlton crew and their operations, which in turn was really the downfall of Gangitano. He just brought too much heat to this group.
I mean, you're bringing the heat down on all of us.
How so, Mario? Tell me. How does my personal business impact on you and yours?
Extra jacks on the street for starters. Had 2 runners arrested this morning.
Gonna hassle anyone who knows you, Alphonse. You watch.
A big blip on the radar, mate. And that's not good for anyone's business.
And certain members of the Carlton crew started to feel like Alphonse was a bit of a liability. In the criminal world, this means there were almost definitely discussions of whether or not Alphonse should still be alive if he's going to keep bringing attention to the Carlton crew.
Freak. Everything his family's done for him.
And this might have very well been the case, because on the evening of January 16, 1998, Alphonse Gangitano was shot dead in his own house in Templestowe.
So long, old mate. God bless.
Who pulled the trigger to this day has never 100% been determined. However, there is a compelling theory that is widely believed to be the truest account of what happened, which implicates Jason Moran as being the one who pulled the trigger. This theory was believed due to evidence that was later released as part of the investigation that had both Kinabre and Moran's DNA evidence at the scene, proving that they were both present in the house at the time of the murder. However, with the criminal code of silence being upheld by both Kinabre and Moran, police really didn't have enough evidence to conclusively tie one of them as the shooter. So the investigation fell flat. And to this day, Alphonse Gangitano's murder remains an unsolved case. It's unclear who pulled the trigger, but I guess it's one of those stories that we'll never 100% know about, especially considering both Kinabre and Moran were later both killed as part of the Gangland Wars in Melbourne. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Behind the Crime. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it interesting. I definitely find the underworld stuff very interesting. It's a very interesting period in Melbourne history. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment, leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't already. That lets me know that you guys want to see more of this. I'm more than happy to dive deeper into the Melbourne underworld scene and all the murders that took place during this Gangland War period. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.